The top 10 places on the French Riviera. I mean, this is a area of France world renowned for its insane beaches. So what are the top 10 dang places of it?
I'm ready to see some beautiful stuff, not just beautiful beaches, but also some beautiful cities, some picturesque rocks.
Lots of rocks. Let's go. Please play.
Riviera,
Thank you.
and I want to share with you my
Wow,
favorite
those
places.
are nice
So
rocks.
here's my French Riviera
It's a nice
top
rock.
10.
You would not think
There's a
that
city.
a lot of these are France.
The
No.
French Riviera, also known as the Côte d'Azur, is one of the most highly sought-after destinations in Europe. Located in southern France on the Mediterranean Sea, the French Riviera is home to some of Europe's best scenery, from the medieval hilltop town of Aix to the scenic calanques of Cassis. The French Riviera is waiting to be experienced. Let's start this video off at the city of Menton. Now located right next to the Italian border, Menton was the first town we visited on the French Riviera as we drove in through Italy. It's strikingly beautiful with its
It'd be so
colorful
cool to do a
buildings,
drive like that.
complemented
Also
with the
big too,
backdrop
so,
of the
like, it'd be
Maritime
a
Alps.
chill
We
city,
stayed
probably.
several days here and I
Yeah.
really enjoyed just walking around the city. Menton was a part of Italy until 1860 when it and the rest of Nice County was added to France. There's a great boardwalk that walks along the coast, and I really enjoyed going out to the lighthouse pier to get panoramic views of Menton. Now afterwards we're going to visit the town of Aix. Now
Ouch.
located on a hilltop tower looking over the French Riviera, I have to say this was easily the coolest
Wow.
medieval
That was
place I
incredible.
visited in my time in southern France. It was only a short 30-minute drive from Menton. Now Aix was founded during the Middle Ages around the 14th century, and today is known worldwide for its medieval vibe and views of the French Riviera. When we were there, we parked
Kind
up
of seems like the strategy when you go places in Europe, like especially near a big city like Nice, stay in like a smaller city next to it and you can have like a very cool experience with a very small fraction of the amount of tourists.
Yeah, and they're still a cool city nonetheless, even sometimes better than the big city itself.
We did that in Italy once. We stayed in the city next to Milan called Bergamo, and it was such a cool city. We really enjoyed it.
parking lot at the base of Aix and then walked up the winding stairs and cobblestone paths through the village. I mean, you really feel like you're walking
Wow,
back in
that's so
time.
cool.
Everything is so old, yet it's perfectly
Just rocks.
preserved, and the village is just full of like these tunnel walkways and trees that were just built around. Truly is such a cool place. Now, one of the main features of the village
They
is
got
the
cactus?
exotic garden. It's this beautiful place that sits
Oh.
on top of the village. It not only has beautiful plants and cactuses, but it offers one of the best views of the French Riviera. It's definitely worth the hike and €6 entry fee. Now after Aix, we're going to go visit the country of Monaco.
Monaco.
Now located right in between Aix and Menton, Monaco is the second smallest country after the Vatican. The whole country is only 499
Jeez, what a
acres.
crazy place.
Monaco has been known as a billionaire's playground, and over 1/3 of Monaco citizens are millionaires. Now, one reason why
1/3,
Monaco
holy
draws the
nuts.
rich is because it's a tax haven. There are no income
Of course.
taxes, and other tax rates are extremely low. Now, one of the most famous places in Monaco is the Monte Carlo Casino. It was opened in 1863 and has been featured in the James Bond films. Now, we
Well,
just
and
drove through
Overwatch map
Monaco
too, I
because
think.
we just had to check it out. We didn't do much, but it was just cool to see and just wild to think of all the money that's in this tiny country.
Yeah.
Now, a really interesting place.
I feel like
located-
that would be the thing in Monaco. You'd go there and be like, we didn't do much, but we just walked around and discovered it. It was cool.
Yeah,
And we left.
a lot of rich people.
Yeah, yeah. Looks cool. It'd be cool to walk the streets.
Above Monaco is the commune of La Turbie. It's famous for its Roman monument
Oh.
called the Trophy of Augustus that was built in the 6th century BC to celebrate Augustus' victory over 45 tribes that populated the Alps. The Romans sure were ambitious back then. Now afterwards, we're going to head over to Nice. Now as the capital of the Maritime Alps Department of France, Nice is the second largest city on the French Riviera after Marseille. Now if you're flying to the French Riviera, this is probably the best airport to come to. I didn't really spend any much
Good to
time
know.
here. I didn't really feel like walking around the city. I do regret not checking it out. So if you're in the French Riviera, you definitely can give Nice a visit.
My
Now
gosh,
another
look at that
prominent
view.
nearby resort town is Cannes. Now it's located about 40 minutes drive from
Well, a lot of
Nice.
these are
Like
really
many
close to each
places
other.
along the French Riviera,
Yeah.
Cannes is associated with the
Perfect
rich
road
and
trip.
famous and hosts the annual Cannes Film Festival. Now just outside of Cannes is some of the most beautiful coastline on the French Riviera. It's called the Esterel, and it's these red rock cliffs that dive into the sea. Now, I was talking to a
like
local on the
Utah
beach, and he
cliffs.
told me that this was his
Yeah,
favorite
it's
place
like if Utah
free.
just went directly into the Mediterranean Sea. That is so crazy.
That's so cool.
Wow.
on the Riviera, so I had to go check it out. I mean, I've never seen red colored cliffs in the Mediterranean. It reminded me a lot of the landscapes you find in the American Southwest, except it has the
That's what we
Mediterranean
said.
Sea, so it's so much better. The coastline is part of the Esterel Massif, and it stretches from Cannes to San Rafael. Now, it's full of
unique.
hidden coves, red rock islands, and secluded beaches. I love just driving along the coastline and parking in its many lookout points and just exploring the coast. I highly recommend
Getting a
visiting
nice
here.
drone
Now, one really
shot.
cool place I visited in the area
Whoa.
is Cap du Jamon. Now, the reason I wanted to go here is because there's this little island with a medieval-looking watchtower on it. It
That's
was
cool.
constructed in the 20th century, and it's believed to be the inspiration behind the Black Island in the Adventures of Tintin. Now, it just looks so
You
scenic,
just
coupled
swim out
with the
there?
red coastline. I mean, there's a really nice beach there, and the water
about
is
to do it.
perfect for freediving. Such an
Whoa.
enjoyable place. Now, afterwards, we're going to visit
The
the
water's
town of
crystal
Saint-Tropez.
clear.
Now, this is one of my favorite towns I visit on the French Riviera. Saint-Tropez is located about an hour-and-a-half drive from Nice. Now, Saint-Tropez grew as a fishing village and military stronghold until the 20th century, and it was the first town to be liberated on the French Riviera during World War II. In the 1960s, Saint-Tropez started gaining popularity amongst jet setters, and today it's renowned for its beaches, nightlife, and yachts. Now, the main part of
Jeez, that
Saint-Tropez
yacht
is
is
pretty small.
ridiculous.
I love just walking around its streets and alleyways. There was this path that walks along the coast, and it was just really nice to explore. Now, overlooking Saint-Tropez is the Citadel, which was built in the 1620s to protect against Spanish forces. Today, it's a naval museum you can visit. All in all, Saint-Tropez is a really beautiful town, and I understand
This
why
is
it's so popular.
insane. Just
Now,
all
afterwards,
of
we're going to
these.
head over to the island of
So cool
Porquerolles.
to stay in
It's
one of
part
those
of the
smaller
Riviera
towns for a few
Islands
days.
archipelago, and the village on the island was founded back in 1820. Today, most of the island remains undeveloped as it's protected, and it's a perfect nature getaway with some of
Oh, look at that
France's
water.
best beaches. Now, you can reach the island by taking a 15-minute shuttle boat from the Guyenne Peninsula, or you can also reach it from Toulon. Now, while you're there, you can bike or hike around the island to its Caribbean-like beaches, such as Courtade Beach, or you can
Oh,
trek
yeah.
around to its more
It's
rugged parts of the
Caribbean-like.
island. It's definitely an island worth visiting. Now, afterwards, we're going to visit Cassis. Now, I think this was my
Cassis.
favorite place we visited in southern France. We stayed several days here. I'm just so glad we did. It's a seaside town with that classic French chic charm. Now, Cassis is overlooked by Cap Canaille, which is home to the highest sea cliffs in all of France with a height of 394 meters. Now, there's a great beach in Cassis, overlooked by a castle. I mean, I just love walking
That's
around the
so
harbor,
cool.
looking at all the boats. You can also walk to the lighthouse at the end of the harbor to just relax and enjoy the sounds of the sea. Now, one of the main reasons I wanted to go to
Ooh.
Cassis and just southern France in general was to visit the Calanques. Now, they
A
are these
beach- that's
a
incredible
beach
sea
right
coves
there.
surrounded by daunting cliffs and crystal clear waters. The
Look at
one
that
I
water.
really wanted to go to is Calanque
That's
d'Anvou.
incredible.
Hope I said that right. Now, there's several ways to get here. You can either take a boat, kayak, or hike in. Now, on our first
can
day
hike
there,
in,
we
that's
rented
cool.
a little boat from the
That's what we
harbor
do.
in Cassis and headed out to the Calanques. Now, the views on the way
Pretty
were just
wavy.
absolutely incredible. Now, one downside about the boat is we couldn't land on the beach. You can only drive like halfway through and then it's roped off. But if you do rent a kayak or a paddleboard, you can take it to the beach, which I
Oh,
definitely
that's cool.
recommend if you can handle the long paddle. Now, we went in as far
How
as we
long
could
are
in
we
the Calanque
talking?
and then turned around after we just kept exploring the coastline, heading west as we relaxed in this other Calanque with some just really unique cliffs and rock formations. It was such a phenomenal area. Now, the next day I really wanted to go to the beach in the Calanque d'Anvou, so we decided to do a hike. Now, the hike was about 7 kilometers long, and it had this one steep
Really?
descent to get down to the beach. Nothing you can't handle. Now, once we reached the beach, I mean, it was really an amazing sight. The steep white cliffs coupled with the greens of the pines and blues of the water were just amazing. Now, the beach was a decent size with a lot of smooth pebbles. We went for a swim, and the water was just so freaking clear. I wanted to find a cliff jump spot,
Ooh.
so after swimming down the cove, I found this rock about 7 meters high and did a few jumps off of it. I mean,
That's
there's
pretty
truly
high.
That
no
is
better
high.
feeling
That's pretty
than
high.
cliff jumping into the Mediterranean. Definitely was one of my favorite places we went, and a perfect place to end our
Jump
time.
off of that rock
that's a
right
perfect
there.
One dive. You think the water's deep enough, right?
Côte
Yeah,
d'Azur.
that looks pretty
Well, that
deep,
is it
right?
for my French
Wow.
Riviera.
Okay, so the French Riviera is somewhere we need to go road tripping immediately.
So I mean, we saw all this guy had his other top 10 places in all of France, and then the fact that he was able to just focus on this one small region of France and do all these crazy places.
Yeah.
My gosh.
Wait, imagine we could go to France. We could, fly into Paris, rent a car in Paris, drive down through the French Alps, maybe go over to like the English Channel coast too, because that area was really cool. One or the other. We have to pick our route, or do a giant circle and go around. Go to the coast on that side, go to the French Riviera, go up through the Alps, back to Paris, fly out. That'd be so cool.
Just do like a full, just zigzag pattern throughout the whole country. Why not?
I'm down to clown any day of the week. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the reaction. If you did, make sure to subscribe. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.